Hello friends, how you doing? It is Catherine Massell here, Ascending Earth Creatrix, Master Energy Healer, and Spiritual Growth Mentor. Hello. Let's see who's going to join me here. I'm going to share this in a few different places, and then we'll get started. Hi Svetlana, I'm glad you're here. Hello, hello. Feel free, since this is on my business page here. Hi Allison. Feel free to share this if you'd like. I would love for this to be for the benefit of many. As we are in 2019 and it's a creative year. Hi Courtney, hi Bonita. 2019 is a creative year and we are in the 3 month and it is a creative month. We want to do as much as we can to open up our creativity and unblock it so that we can experience a better reality for ourselves. Hello, all of you that are joining. Thank you for being here. I'm going to share this real quickly and then we shall get started. I'm going to share it in my group, Evolve into Ascension. I like sound effects. Who doesn't? As I said, please feel free to share this as you're joining. Please say hello. Let me know where you're watching from. Most of you, I know where you are. But if you are new here, please let me know where you're watching from. Let me know if this is a replay. I'm going to share it in one more place. I swear to God, I'm going to move this along very quickly. Okay, there we go. So, hi Dina. As a lot of things tend to, or as most things tend to come to me, it's usually at like 3 or 4 in the morning. I can't sleep and I'm like, okay, so I can't sleep. I know something must be coming in. And then usually I get a cue now when things are coming in. My right ear, this is my left, hello, this is my right ear, and I usually get like a really tinny, kind of echoey sound in my ear, and then it starts to buzz, and then it starts to go into a kind of a deafening ring where everything else around me, all the sounds around me tend to go into the background, and then I just hear this kind of buzzing, and then that's when I know, like, okay, you're going to get something now, which is really nice of the universe to do, to kind of let me know something's coming in. But I have been thinking a lot lately about creativity, and I was asking in my meditative space and my daily dialogue with Mother Creatrix, what is the biggest, and I don't like to use the word wound, but what is the biggest trauma that people are experiencing around their creativity? Like how can we kind of set up a passageway for people to step into greater levels of their creativity? Like, what is keeping them from being able to do that? Is there something that's blocking that from people? And then this came in, healing the inner child with Mother Creatrix energy. Now, healing the inner child is not my specialty. This is not what I do. There's people who are really, really wonderful and adept at working with the inner child energy. But that's not what this is about. This is not about, going and working with someone that is like an expert with inner child work, because what I happen to believe, and also Mother Creatrix backs me up on this, is that you are an expert at your own inner child. So while there are wonderful and adept people who do this work and do very, very deep healing work with the inner child, you have the ability, the tools, the resources right now at your disposal to be able to work with your inner child in a very real, very tangible, very powerful, and very simple way. We often make the healing work that we would like to do for ourselves a lot more difficult than it needs to be. So one of the things that I think about when I think about creativity, and for us to be able to step into greater levels of that, is to be able to simplify a lot of what we do. Hi Tara, hi Umair. Simplicity And having systems in place is big for me in 2019. It's how I'm leading my clients into a greater level and a higher degree of transformation by just simplifying everything, like peeling away a lot of the unnecessary layers of stuff and just saying, you know what, here are the steps, here's what you do, follow it, do it, transformation is imminent. I truly feel like we're making things a lot more difficult than they need to be. So I wanted to bring this to you in a way where this was really easy to understand, why inner child and working with your inner child will open up levels of creativity. Hi, Tara. And how to do it in a really simple way so that whenever you feel stymied or stuck in your life, that you can use these tools and do your own healing work. You are your own best healer, and it's time that we really, really embrace that and accept that as our truth, okay? So, healing the inner child with Mother Creatrix energy. What the heck is Mother Creatrix energy? If you've been following me for, it was about my ears. If you've been following me for any length of time, you know that I talk about Mother Creatrix. Mother Creatrix is the most supreme benevolent energy. It is the source from whence everything comes, and is the energy to which everything returns. And in terms of being able to kind of explain that a little further, Mother Creatrix energy is the womb of all creation of pure source consciousness, and it is also the tomb. I have an energy activation. You can check it out on my YouTube page, the womb and the tomb activation, which will give you a really clear idea of what that is and how to work with that. But it is a place where we can tap into, where we can create, but it is also a place where we can tap into to release, to let go, to heal. So when we connect with Mother Creatrix energy, if you have had any kind of, and like I said before, I don't like to use the word wound. Why do I not like to use the word wound? Because every time we use that to describe our experience, if we say, I have a mother wound, it's like opening it up fresh every single time. Our words have so much power. And when we say, I have a mother wound, it's like ripping that flesh open again every single time you say it. So I really don't like to use that word. I think words are power. Words cast spells. Words create physical manifestations. So you won't hear me say mother wound. But we have sacral trauma from what we have experienced from our relationship with our mother, and this could be through the matrilineal line. It may not even be through our mother. It could be through a grandmother. It could be through a mother figure. It could be through a great-grandmother. We can carry it in our DNA. We often do. We can have experiences in this lifetime with our mother where we didn't get the love that we needed, and it has caused trauma with us. So much trauma, in fact, that it can kind of keep us at the age that we're at when we first experienced it. And if this trauma happened while we were in infancy, we have a real problem here, because this is creating a spectrum of experience throughout your life, that the same emotional core experience keeps repeating itself over and over again every day, and it keeps you in a survival state consciousness, which is a state of limitation. Okay, so you're just going around in circles in your life. Not receiving the love, the care, the attention, the support that you needed at a very young age keeps your inner child stuck in the trauma of that, okay? Does everyone kind of get that? So if you have had some level of trauma, some experience that was difficult, maybe it was abuse, verbal, physical, otherwise sexual, and you have something that you've not been able to move past in your life, what is really beautiful and wonderful and extremely powerful and healing about connecting with Mother Creatrix energy is that she is the divine benevolent mother. When you connect in energetically with Mother Creatrix, there is no judgment. There is no competition. There is no retaliation. There is no rejection. There is no lack. You are connecting in with the supreme, divine, sacred, benevolent energy of that which is Mother, that which creates all, and that which she embraces back into her when the time has come for completion. The tomb energy, if you will. When we have some sort of trauma around what we've experienced through the mother, our relationship with the mother in this lifetime, it can affect our creativity, our ability to conceive new ideas, our ability to perceive the world as a loving place. We feel like things easily shift out of our control. We lose control in our lives very easily, and that could be of our emotions, of situations, of experiences, of people. We're not able to fully perceive the self. If we have any kind of trauma that we've experienced with the mother, and this is true for the father as well, but it's a different energy with the father. When we have, and especially for women, this is very unique to us with our mother relationship, because if we have any kind of strained relationship with the mother, we cannot fully perceive ourselves. We don't see ourselves as like a fully rounded, fully complete individual. There is a chunk of us that is missing. And some of us feel it on the left-hand side of the body. A lot of us who have some sort of mother trauma that goes very deep, a lot of us have afflictions on the left-hand side of the body. This is where we have the trauma of the feminine, where we hold it as a physically manifested state. Okay? You have an inability to see yourself for who you truly are, meaning you and your divinity. You as this bright shining beacon of the highest example of an awakened human here in this existence, which we all have the ability to do. We all have the ability to be this person. Okay? Mostly it afflicts our ability to move out of fear when we have some sort of trauma with the mother. And we have an inner child trauma because of our relationship with the mother. It afflicts us and our ability to move out of fear. We tend to filter most of our experience through fear rather than love. We have this lens, this kind of veil with which we see and perceive all things. And we have this fear of rejection. We have a fear of losing control. We have a fear of not being supported. And this could be by anything. So I want to give you a very specific example of how this affected me. And I'm always happy to make myself the guinea pig here and make myself an example for you so you can kind of understand. I had a very big fear of being supported because it's not that I had any trauma that was like physical or detrimental to me, like some people can have. It wasn't abuse or anything like that. It was more of a withholding of the support and the love that I needed, just because my situation was very unique. When I came into the world, my brother, who was less than a year older than me at the time, had a lot of physical afflictions. He had a cleft palate, a cleft lip. He couldn't eat normally. He had to be fed through a tube. And so when I came along, I just got passed along to anyone who could take care of me at the time. So right from infancy, I had this experience of not being in a stable place, not necessarily being supported. I was around strangers all the time. I wasn't necessarily getting the mother's love that I needed. Now, I'm not throwing a pity party for myself here at all. I'm just telling you the facts, Jack. This is how it is. I've healed this. I'm working through this. Some of this just came up for me around money. Because how this feeling of not being supported in this lifetime can show up. Hi, Jane. Hi, Lila. How this feeling of not being supported can show up in this lifetime. It can be for anything. Feeling like you're not supported with love. Feeling like you're not supported with the right people around you. Feeling like you're not supported with the right home situation. You don't have security in your life. That could show up as money, not having enough money, or personal freedom, personal economy, the freedom of your own personal economy, feeling like you have always, been just shy of having enough money, just shy of having enough love, just shy of having enough friends, whatever that is, that feeling that's pervasive throughout many, many recurrent themes in your life, I'm not supported, okay? The fear also can come up for us of having done something wrong. Now, this is the most damaging and pervasive fear for those of us who have some sort of trauma, strained relationship, disconnect with the mother. The fear that we have done something wrong. It's probably the most powerful, the most damaging thing that we can possibly feel. Hi, Jen. Hi, Sarah. Thanks for being here. This may make us feel shame, regret, Because if we didn't get the love we needed, we project this inward, and we often internalize that, and we reason that we must have done something wrong then to not deserve our mother's love. That's very upsetting. And I want you to just, if you feel that, just let that go. Don't hold it back. Maybe you're on the bus watching this or listening to this, so maybe don't go into waterworks on the bus, but let yourself feel that. Because to me, that is the most painful, the most damaging part, is that we feel we did something horrible, something egregious, something abhorrent. Because why else would we not get the love that we needed, which was just supposed to come to us? We came into this world, we must have been wanted. So what happened between the time that we were wanted enough to come into this world and then to not get the love that we needed once we were here? Does that resonate for anybody? Okay. Yes, the child thinks that there is something wrong with her. Absolutely. And because this is such a powerful and such a damaging trauma, and it can happen for some of us right from infancy, it did for me, this creates a theme throughout your whole life where you're carrying the core emotion and the fragmentary emotions attached to that core emotion throughout your lifetime. So that everything you see, feel, experience, know to be true, quote unquote, in your life is through this filter, through this veil of your experience. Okay? I want you to understand how powerful that is. Because if you don't understand how powerful that is, you won't get that it's so powerful and important for you to shift it and to move the fuck out of that. Okay? You guys get what I'm saying? Give me some hearts if you understand what I'm saying. We can feel shame, we can feel regret, because if we didn't get the love that we needed, there must be some reason why. And that reason that we often internalize is that we did it. We did it. Okay? We must have done something wrong, something shameful, something egregious, something abhorrent to not deserve our mother's love. This is wrong. Wrong, wrong, wrong. Wrong, wrong, wrong. So let's get rid of that right now. There is nothing that you did when you were an infant, a toddler, whatever, 7 years old, that made you not deserve your mother's love. Just make peace with that. There's nothing that you did, okay? Let's consciously acknowledge that right here, right now, in this space together, where we have this sense of support and love for each other here, okay? Hi, Antonina. Tara says, yes, there was no trauma in my life with my mom, but love was conditional. Exactly. And I remember that from what you posted the other day, a very, very powerful and very vulnerable thing to post, and I want to thank you for doing that, because I think that was very eye-opening for a lot of people who were reading that. Yes, we're always looking to fix it. Like, we're the ones that have to fix it because we broke it, right? Wrong. So this keeps us stuck in experiencing the same limiting emotions. There's a core emotion that came from that experience, that trauma with the mother, that disconnect, that sense of separation that was created. There's a core emotion there that becomes the driving force that perpetuates our experience and perpetuates a veil in our experience going forward. Not to mention all the fragmentary emotions that are attached to that, okay? And it keeps us, these limiting emotions, it keeps us, perpetuating the same trauma. And we get so addicted to it that we kind of look for ways to relive the trauma and over and over again, because that's part of our identity. It becomes such a deep-seated part of our subconscious that it becomes who we are. And so we look for ways naturally to validate who we are. Because who are we if we're not somebody? It doesn't matter if that somebody is in pain. It doesn't matter if that somebody is experiencing trauma. It doesn't matter if that somebody is experiencing a level of life that is lesser than. It's who we are. It's what we know. It's where we feel safe. We can often feel safe in our trauma, and we wear it like a security blanket. Okay? These limited emotions, they tend to run our lives from this state of survival consciousness then. And that is because our subconscious driving force becomes that quest to seek out the love that we never received. We are trying to satisfy a desire that has eluded us from a very young age, and sometimes from infancy. And so the desire to be loved, that desire to feel that we have a place, that we're understood, that we're supported, where we can feel secure, okay? The things that drive us as human beings going forth, everything else, after being able to survive and have security, everything else in life is gravy. But if we don't have this feeling like we can survive, and literally every effort to survive means that we are on this endless quest to get something that is constantly eluding us, there is no creativity. There's no creative driving force, because everything in your life, all of your attention, all of your energy is focused on, I need love to survive. Without that, fuck everything else. Nothing else matters. And if you're in a survival state of consciousness like that, where you are seeking out a level of security that keeps eluding you, there's no moments of creative inspiration that come. You don't feel tapped into the highest level of your intuition. The mind and the body is focused completely on survival. That is the complete opposite from the creative state. We feel we literally can't survive without it. Love, by the way, we can't. We can't. We're built to give and receive love. We are all connected as human beings at the heart level. That's not a mistake. That's not a coincidence. It is how we connect with each other, the force of humanity. It is how we understand things. We understand things, and it's not just black and white, but we understand things through a filter of love or fear. And there are a lot of gray areas in between. But those are the two ends of the spectrum. Okay? So our experience and our feeling of place has a lot to do, almost everything to do, if you ask me, with love. So all of your attention, your energy, when you didn't get the love that you needed from the mother, it is set upon retrieving a love that we can't ever get back, because you can't change the past. You can change how the past resonates in your present and in your future, but you can't physically change the past experiences. You can only change how you respond to them. You can only change how you navigate the rest of your life in response to what happened in your past. Right? Hi, Tammy. Svetlana says that such a big trauma as it happens, we are still unconscious and little. Absolutely. And we don't know what to do with it. These are emotions that when we are so big, developmentally, we're not in a place to get what's going on, or to even understand, how to solve that problem, how to create a solution. Svetlana says, and it's kind of a low feeling and not knowing what's up with us. Absolutely, absolutely. But what I want to give you here today is a really simple but extremely powerful way to heal this, okay? Tammy says, this is amazing synchronicity for me right now. Oh, goody. I like hearing that. Okay. If you are experiencing this kind of trauma, understand that you are going around in circles and you're not moving forward. You're not moving forward in your life. You are feeling cut off from your creativity, from creative ideas, from creative inspiration. You are cut off from healthy desires. You're cut off from pleasure. The idea of pleasure is to have it for the sake of it. If we're like scrimping and trying to claw our way to some semblance of love, that's not pleasure. We're just trying to get a very, very deep-seated need met. Pleasure is something that comes for the sake of it, where you can experience a level of joy in your life, where you can laugh at things, where you can feel lighthearted, where you can feel some sense of carefree or cavalier. That doesn't happen. Those things don't show up in your life. If your whole MO, your whole subconscious driving force is to have this need met of love, you're not at a place where you can experience pleasure. So we are literally cut ourselves off. We are cutting ourselves off from it. We are also cut off from our deeper intuitive levels of understanding. We are not tapped into the intuitive state when we are in a survival state. Period, the end. Okay? So I want to give you, first off, the template for connecting in with Mother Creatrix energy. Okay, so those of you that have been following me and paying attention to my lives recently, I've been talking about my VIP member vault. So what I have done, because I have a crazy, and as I was going through it, I knew I had a lot of content, but it's kind of insane. I have a lot of crazy content, crazy amounts of content, and I'm in the process of kind of funneling it all into one place, so that you don't have to go to my YouTube channel and you go to my podcast or go to my Facebook Live or go onto my website. I have the VIP member vault, and it's free to get in there. I'm putting all of my content in one place, okay? And the most important things to me that are most reflective of the work that I do, I put in there first. And so one of the things that I put in there first was the Mother Creatrix, hold on, let me find it, connecting into Mother Creatrix and Creative Matrix energy. So when you tap, this is a guided meditation, when you tap into this, and it's totally free, you just go to that link, put in your email, and then you have this. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff to look around that while you're in the member vault. Free and paid stuff. But when you are tapped into the Mother Creatrix energy, you are tapped into your creative state. Energetically, you move out of the survival state consciousness. Okay? You are tapped into the highest, purest, most supreme benevolent energy, Mother Creatrix energy, what I talked about at the beginning of this call. This is the mother you connect with where there is no fear of judgment. This is the mother you connect with to have no fear of competition. This is the mother you connect with where there's no fear of rejection. This is the mother you connect with that is unconditional love. This is the mother you connect with that is pure understanding and is supreme and sublime and transcendent, pure love at its fullest level of grace and expansion. That's Mother Creatrix energy. You're welcome. So when you connect at that level, this is a great place to release. So I want to invite you to do a very, very simple, very powerful method. When you have some time tonight or this week or whenever you have time to do this, I want you to reflect on this talk. Maybe you want to listen to it again. And I want you to connect with your inner child. There's nothing that you have to do to connect with your inner child that is extremely involved. You don't have to stand on one leg underneath the moon to connect with your inner child. All you need to do is make contact with her. And all you need to do that is maybe you would think of your inner child as being on the left-hand side of your body. And since we're talking about any kind of trauma or disconnect that we feel with the mother, that's the feminine side, the left side of the body. So maybe you want to just talk to that left side of your body. Some of us, we all connect with energy differently. Maybe you want to picture your inner child as, sitting cross-legged on the floor with you in your meditative space. Maybe she's in your head. Maybe she's a voice in your head. It doesn't matter how you connect with her. Just make the intention. Create the intention. I'm connecting with my inner child. Okay? Give her a name. Maybe it's what you were called when you were a little kid. When I was a little kid, I was called Kathy. I hate the name Kathy, just for the record. I don't feel like a Kathy. I never felt like a Kathy. I definitely feel like a Catherine. But when I address my inner child, I call her Kathy, because that's who she is, okay? And I feel instantly connected to her, okay? That's the other thing you want to look for. Whatever your pet name for her is, and you want to call her honey, you want to call her sweetie, whatever that is. And get a good idea of the age at which you feel this connection. But whoever you connect with, make sure you feel like, okay, I'm talking to her. I'm talking to her. I feel like this is that part of me that has always needed the love, the attention, that she's been dying for me to talk to her. Just be aware of that level of connection, okay? And then just start talking. Have a dialogue. Have a conversation. You can ask the simplest questions. What didn't you get from mom when you were a little girl? And it still causes you pain. What do you still need? Do you want to play? Do you want to feel more creativity, more inspiration? Do you want to do things that light you up a little bit more? Do you feel like you're always having to do what you're supposed to do? That you don't have any free time to just play and just be? Sometimes you just want to be. Maybe not even play. Sometimes you just want to be allowed to be. Ask her, what does she need? Ask her the feelings that she would most like to get rid of. This is really important. Ask her what emotions. You might want to come up with a list of several things. One of the things that I do in my Become the Creatrix program, and it's a really important thing that we do, by the way, is we identify the core emotion that has been driving our lives up to this point, and that if we don't change, will continue to drive our lives. Meaning it is that driving force, that energy, that core emotion, that one feeling that kind of sets the template, the foundation for everything that we do in this lifetime. And yes, you can ask your inner child that. What is that one feeling that you feel all the time? Is it sadness? Is it anger? Is it frustration? Is it loneliness? For me, when I uncovered and I was always on my own as a child. I was that kid that would spend hours in my bedroom just doing stuff by myself. I had friends when I was a kid, but I didn't play with them a lot. I played with them, but I was fine for hours on end at a time. And I realized that when I did a lot of this healing of my inner child, that wasn't necessarily voluntary, because I was working against a trauma of, I don't want to ask anybody for anything because I don't want to be rejected. I don't want to be told that no one has time for me. So I won't even put myself in a position, and so I'm getting teary as I talk about this, I'll put myself in a position where I don't even have to deal with that rejection. Go back into those memories. I'm not saying you have to relive them, but you can review them. Go back into those times that maybe were the most painful things when you were a little kid. What was going on? What were you doing? Were you by yourself a lot? Were you with other people? How did you feel when you were with those other people? What would you say that inner little girl was experiencing as she was by herself or when she was with other people? What is the driving thing, that driving emotion that was dictating, what her experiences were as a kid, okay? And I want you to catalog these things, okay? Write down those things that you want to release for her. You are being for her in this exercise the mother that your mom couldn't be or didn't want to be, whatever that is. And you have to forgive that. You have to forgive yourself, as, I had to forgive little Kathy for feeling the feelings that I felt and feeling like it was my fault, that I did something to not deserve my mother's love. You have to forgive yourself for that. You have to forgive your mom, okay? Or forgive that mother figure or anyone else involved, okay? You have to forgive the situation, forgive the experience, forgive the memory, forgive it all, okay? You might want to do some Ho'oponopono prayer with this and accompanying this. I definitely recommend that. But write down all the things that you want to release, okay? And this could be done in stages. Maybe it's painful. Maybe what you experienced is extremely painful. So you want to write down just maybe a few things right now. That's fine. You can always go back and do this exercise as many times as you want. Keep it simple for right now, okay? Don't feel like you have to solve everything tonight or this week. Pick up on the biggest key things that you feel like are driving you in your life where you are right now today in your life. The core emotion that maybe came from that time in your infancy, when you were a toddler, when you were a young person, when you were maybe even, on the brink of being a teenager, that is still a core trauma, a core emotion that is driving your life today. That's the stuff you want to look at first, Okay, Tara says, I was always by myself. I had friends, but I got sick of playing with them after just a small amount of time. I get you. I get you. And for those of us who are really sensitive, you know, even though we're taught to be socialized as kids and to play, like some of us who are really sensitive, really empathic, that amount of energy is just too much. It was for me. And being able to have the intuitive hits that I had as a kid, it was very much too much. Because I wasn't hearing their thoughts, but I could feel what they were feeling, and I could feel their thoughts, if that makes any sense. And that's just way too much. On top of like kids screaming and running and doing all that stuff, that level of activity wasn't really mine as a kid. And then on top of having my intuitive hits with everything that was going on too, it was just like, ugh. So I pulled back a lot from things in my childhood. That's just me. But Tara, I get you. Believe me, I feel that. Svetlana says, I was connecting to 6-year-old me for some time, but lately I come to see myself as a baby, and holding and accepting myself brings so much joy and it feels great in my body. Yes, because you're giving yourself something now that you didn't get when you needed it. It's never too late. You can't change the past, right? You can't change the fact that your mom wasn't there for you for X, Y, and Z. Or didn't want to be there for you, or couldn't be there for you. Maybe she was dealing with her own fucked up life and trauma, okay? You got to forgive that. You got to let that go. But you can give yourself now exactly what you did not get. So when you are doing this exercise, what you are doing is you're acting like the mom to your inner child. You're giving her, you're stepping into the role of mother, and you're getting the help by, you're connecting in with the level of Mother Creatrix energy. When you do this guided meditation, you'll get to a point in the meditation where you are prompted to release. You can create something in this space, but you can also release. Do both, okay? Create your ideal relationship with your inner child in this space too. But more importantly, at the outset, allow yourself to release. Release that core emotion, those fragmentary emotions that have been driving you. Release the pain of the memories. Release the trauma of the emotion and how that's maybe repeated itself in experiences or events throughout your life. Release all of that into this Mother Creatrix energy space that I create with you in the guided meditation. Okay? Because that's really, really powerful. Don't make this more difficult than it needs to be. You don't have to say certain things or follow a protocol or whatever. All you're doing in this space, you're connecting with your inner child. You are dialoguing with her as if you were sitting with a little kid in front of you or next to you. Or you're talking to a part of your body that holds her energy. Or she's a voice in your head. Dialogue with her. Converse with her. Find out what she needs to be healthy and happy. To feel a sense of joy. To feel a sense of pleasure. Okay? Because maybe that little part of you, that inner child part of you didn't get pleasure. I didn't. Not really. I didn't understand what pleasure was until I was in my late 30s. And I'm not talking about sexual pleasure. I'm just talking about just pleasure, just joy. Okay. Sarah says, I was bullied as a kid badly too. My mom never stood up for me. Whether it was from my dad putting me down or kids. But I understand now that my mom had her own issues and couldn't stand up for herself at that time. Exactly. We, as little kids, the other thing that really kind of keeps us stuck in this energy is that we're not in a place, nor should we be in a place, to understand that our parents are going through, because they're people too, they're fucking humans too, trying to figure all this mess out. They're going through their own shit. They're going through their own feelings like they're not communicating with their spouse, or they're wondering how they're going to put food on the table for their kids. Like, who knows exactly what was going through your mom's head? You know? And maybe your mom was just a shit. Maybe your mom was just a shit. Forgive that too. It doesn't matter. You can blame and shame and go down the regret rabbit hole, but why? Wouldn't you rather just heal it? Stop going around in circles in your life and move forward to do the things that you are meant to do in this lifetime. Because this stuff is keeping you stuck. And maybe even more than you thought it did. And until you go in and you do this exercise, you don't realize just how much. I didn't realize how much trauma my inner child had. I didn't. And I used to hear like, and I've been doing this work for 18 years, but I used to hear like, oh, inner child work and do this workshop. And I was like, whatever, inner child, I'm fine. I was in denial about it for a really long time. And I'm not saying that you guys here are in denial about it. That's not what I'm saying at all. But I was big time. And when I got the wake-up call several times, and this morning at like 4 a.m. being one of them, I was like, girlfriend, you got work to do. You got work to do. You ain't done. And the most crippling, hobbling thing about this was that I was realizing, and this has kind of been building up to the work I did today, but how much this has affected my money story. How much this has affected like how I allow flow and ease of my own personal economy, meaning how I allow wealth and money to flow into my life, and how I readily accept and receive that. And how a big part of my belief system was that money doesn't love me. No one else does. Why would money? Holy aha moment, okay? So you have no idea, really, until you do this work, how this stuff affects you. Like how this kind of shakes out in your everyday life on a conscious level, right? Until we make the unconscious conscious. And this is a great exercise for you to do that. So just release in this space. The meditation itself is about a half hour, which is perfect. You probably don't want to do more than that just because, number one, it can be painful, but it's good to do it in increments, okay? Because sometimes if we do this work for too long at a big stretch, we feel like there's so much work to do that we start to go down the rabbit hole of self-doubt, and it can get really ugly. So use this as a wonderful tool. It is simple, but it is powerful, okay? And then I'd love your feedback. So when you go into my member vault and you click on the link that I shared with you here in the comments, that's where you're going to find the Connecting with Mother Creatrix Creative Matrix energy. That's the energy you connect with when you do this release process. So talk to your inner child first, compile some things, catalog some things you want to release, then do the guided meditation and do the releasing in that space. You may also want to create, as you release in this space, you create a void. So fill that in with, I want to be more loving to you now. I want to be a good mom to you now. Talk to your inner child and tell her, you know, what you want to do for her. Because she's going to let you know what she needs, what she's been missing. You are in a unique opportunity then to be able to give her what she needs. Put that in this space. And when you're connected at the level of Mother Creatrix energy, you will find a great deal of inspiration. You'll find doors swinging open, offering opportunities for you to step into a role of being more loving to yourself, exhibiting more self-love, not only to your inner child, but to you as a whole. You'll be inspired to share love with your inner child in different ways. That's just the energy that opens up when you connect with Mother Creatrix energy. Is it the same one from the WCC group? Yeah, you can use that one. You can also use, in this space, when you use the link that I gave you and you go to Connecting with Mother Creatrix Creative Matrix Energy, the one thing I wanted to say before I get sidetracked is I have question prompts for all the stuff. So please share in there how you felt doing this exercise, connecting with Mother Creatrix energy. What message maybe did Mother Creatrix have for you? What surprising message did your inner child have for you? There's a place for you to write that in the comment section. The other thing I wanted to offer you is that I have a little bit different, a little bit deeper way of connecting with Mother Creatrix energy. This is a recording that I have done exclusively for Become the Creatrix, which is my signature program. And in the member vault, you can, play around, kind of scroll around, kind of binge on all the stuff that's in there. But you can take module 1 of Become the Creatrix totally free. It's called a teaser module. And in that teaser module is a different guided meditation for connecting with Mother Creatrix. Do you guys want me to put that in there too? I'll put the link in there. So this is the teaser link to check out module 1 of Become the Creatrix. It's a different guided meditation for connecting with Mother Creatrix. It's a little deeper connection. And you can play with them both. You can use both and see if you like them. So let me see. Let me put that in here. All right. Don't be surprised at what you'll find, and don't do what I did, which is sometimes we think because we've been doing this work for so long, like, I already know. I already know all my inner child stuff. Please don't assume that, because we are opening up to so many new layers of ourselves. So many new layers of deeper understanding of who we are, a greater understanding of self than we have in the past. Because of ascension energies, because of the energy of enlightenment and human awakening that's happening here on the planet, we are seeing things, we are perceiving things in ways that we never have before. So what might feel like old hat to you, if you do it again, it's going to have a different, fresh energy to it. And you're going to be exposed to, you're going to be enlightened by or awakened by something that you have not experienced before. Trust me on this, okay? The layers never end. Word. Right? Right? Okay. So, ladies, I want to wish you so much love and peace with this. And it's truly an honor to share this with you, because not only is it so incredibly powerful, but it's going to be eye-opening for you in the best way, okay? I would love your feedback on this. You can put your feedback on my page. You can do it in my member vault and put your feedback there in the question prompts. However you want, Facebook Messenger me. I would love your feedback on this and what came up for you. Those of you who are watching in the Evolve into Ascension group, go ahead and start a post in there. I'd love to hear it. So I want to wish you so much love and peace. Ladies, thank you for being here live. I always love to have my friends here live. Have a beautiful week. Mwah. Bye-bye.